Okay, I think I should be live right now. Starting. You are live. Why am I so terrible on the red meter? Unsupported resolution. What are you talking about, Willis? Hold on. Let me see. Where is my thing? Hello, guys. Hello. Hopefully you guys can see me. For some reason it says unsupported resolution, which is kind of weird. I don't know. As long as it doesn't freeze up or do anything stupid, I should be good. Okay. Welcome to the Talking with Dashing Foxie show. Let me just try to solve some problems here. Go to here. Press that. Tweeted that out. Also going to go... Oh, shoot. Okay. Now it's all good. Post to Facebook and stuff like that. Okay, welcome, guys. Welcome, Mr. Chloe and Mr. Fox and all the other people out there who watch me, which is weird that you watch me because I don't do anything exciting. So, here's what I'm going to do. Today, we are going to be talking about room parties. And yes, I am forced under my will. He's watching me, so I have to do this. Yay! For being forced. Yeah. Okay. So, literally, this is what the topic is about. If you don't know what room parties is, you probably haven't been to a con in a while, or you probably have never been to a con, which is perfectly fine as well. So, a room party is basically what happens at a convention. Yay! It could be an anime convention, it could be a furry convention, it could be an integrating of different things. But today I want to talk about this topic thanks to Furrydelphia, which I was at, and I had a wonderful time there, guys. Very fun time. Furrydelphia is always a nice place to go. I would definitely recommend it if you are around the Philadelphia area. If you're not, probably you want to skip it because it's kind of a small con and it's not really that exciting to go to if you're not a furry from Philadelphia or any other thing like that. Now, why do I want to bring it up to Furrydelphia is because we had a little bit of problems with the police and the party that was going on. Somebody got punched in the face. Woo! Actually, not woo. Don't woo that. But somebody literally got punched in the face, and that consequently all the room parties at Furrydelphia got shut down because of one accident that could have been prevented. And nobody has ever talked about this. I've never seen any sort of contact for room parties or anything like that. So what I did was, over here, which I will be showing you in a little bit, I drew a diagram of room parties and what you're going to be expecting at room parties, and also how to prevent stuff like that from happening. And there's plenty of different things that you can do with this. These are just my ideas. We'll take phone calls later and maybe get your perspective on the ideas of solving better room parties. Yeah, because room parties can get very dangerous. Very dangerous. So let's see if we have any comments right now. I've been to cons, just haven't been to any of my friends' cons. I'm sorry to hear that. We have, what's a con without Historias? Well, it could be better. We have, I'm throwing a room party, decided to you, Dashing. Well, thank you. I appreciate it. Dedicated to me. And let's see, man, there is no heads every weekend now. Okay, so headlines every week now. So I'm going to tell you right now, room parties can be very fun. But whenever you have a room party, it can get a little bit ridiculous, as we already know from Furrydelphia and other room parties that happen. There was a room party at MFF that got way too wild, and somebody, I think, ended up like... I don't know the whole story, but like end up breaking something in the tub and end up flooding half the hotel rooms and stuff like that on the, I think it was like the second or third floor. I can't exactly remember. I remember room parties like that. And you know what, to tell you the truth, that fox back there really did a number on me, and I wanted to show you what happens at a room party. Okay, but I'm not going to show you physically, because we can go on through that and really figure out why people act so stupid. So what I'm going to do, I have a diagram here, and I don't know if you can see it that well. Let me see it on the screen so I can make sure that you guys can see this here. I have a diagram here that says all the list of possibilities of what could happen, and I have a diagram of different things. Okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the elephant in the room. And I really hate talking about this on my show, but it's going to happen, and we need to stress it right now before anything goes on. It's this wonderful thing, I don't know, it's called alcohol. I think it's a new invention. And the problem with alcohol is it can make people either loopy, sad, depressed. It can make people too wild, violent. That's exactly what happened to the one guy. He got too violent. And police will knock on your door if you drink too much of this. So alcohol is a big thing at room parties. And I'm not saying that it's bad. I just think that you should try to make the right decisions when you're going to drink this at a room party. And again, I know I try to be very family friendly in this show, but this time I think I really need to get it done, because alcohol is such a dangerous thing when it comes to room parties and other sort of furry events, because this little alcohol bottle can cause you to do exactly the following: jump off roofs. What happened at Megaplex not too long ago. Get too drunk that where you end up getting poison from it. It's very possible. It has happened in a couple cons. I think furthermore was the last time somebody had alcohol poisoning. It can cause many problems in many different ways. And I'm not saying it's a bad thing. You should drink it if you're over the age. Drink it. If you're under the age, wait until you're 21 so your brain can develop. It's a very smart idea to do. So what I'm going to tell you now, though, is this bottle right here can get you into so much trouble, and I feel sorry for people that have the trouble. And if you are addicted, please contact a whatever the drunk hotline is or whatever, because this stuff can get bad. Another thing that people should notice is, I'm sorry, I'm trying to get that out of the way, but people should notice drugs. If there's drugs in the room, try to get them out, because you don't want to be getting responsible for drugs or any sorts of things like that. And other things like that. Try to keep it down at minimum. I know it can be fun. You can have a quote-unquote wonderful time. I don't do anything stupid like that. I barely even drink. I've been to a couple room parties, but they're not all worth going to, because sometimes you get the person who's drunk. So we'll continue talking about this, but that's the elephant, or the fox in the room, as he likes to say. So here's what we're going to do. Okay, so I've got a diagram here, as you can tell, and I'm not saying it's a perfect diagram. I did a little bit of research, but not like so much that we're to the point where it's going to be boring you. So here's what you're going to do. Okay, so we're going to start with the room itself. As you can tell, you've got the hallway. You know, you got your little room that you go through. You got your bedrooms right here, and you're having a good time. Usually drinks are kept on this side. You know, you got the extra table and stuff like that. Cool, right? Yeah, that's nice. It's nice. Okay, so people should stay away out of the halls. Now, one thing that Furrydelphia had problems with, there was a party on the 5th floor. Okay, the 5th floor was getting a little too rowdy, and they went out to the hallway because there was no room. So, since there's no room, they went out to the hallway, got shut down because they're disrupting traffic in the next room, which is very important, which people need to learn, that there is a room beside you. Now, again, most of the time there's other furries in the room. And we're going to discuss ways I think cons could do a little bit better, but also not make them liable for it, because I think that's one big thing that cons fear, is being liable for these room parties. And it's kind of one of those things that's a double-edged sword. A room party can either help a con or it can completely ruin a con. A perfect example helping the con would be FWA. The room block gets sold out almost every year, or close to sold out. It's because of the simple fact that they have these. They have room parties, which is a very beneficial idea. But there's other cons that had problems, like, I wouldn't say rainforest, but I would probably say one of the leading causes was because there was too many people out there getting drunk from these room parties that they weren't thinking straight. So I think that becomes a problem within itself. So there's plenty of different ways cons get shut down, and this could be a big one for them. If too many room parties happen and too many different stupid things happen, that can get a con shut down like that. There's no question that if a hotel thinks that you're doing terrible because of all this, it could be wrong on their sense. So the no-go spots, in my opinion, are the hallway and this bathroom right here. The bathroom is a big one, because the bathroom, there could be a lot of different things that are breakable in there. Your toilet's breakable. All your different things can be breakable within those boundaries. So what I would say is stay out of the hallway and stay out of the bathroom. That's also a no-go situation. You know, the bathroom's for using the bathroom, not for partying. I know it's very fun to party in that bathroom, but let's keep that partying down to the minimum. Okay, so in a room like this, most cons don't have that big of rooms. Right now, I'm doing an example of a double queen bedroom, which is usually about the size of a regular, if you have a room at home, just times that by 2. And that's the hotel. Some are different, some are suites, some are different things. Now, the only reason why I made this is because the simple fact is that a lot of times, that's the kind of room you'll get. You'll get a double queen, or you'll get just a regular king, depending on how much money you have. So what you're going to do is on a regular thing like this, which I have right here, and I'm terribly sorry. I need like something to stand this up, but I unfortunately don't have that. So let me switch over here. Okay, so what you're going to be doing here is you're going to be having a party. Let's say you're having a party at this kind of room rate. A small party is going to be probably around 7 or 6. Now, why this is important? Because sometimes people do not like to have big parties, and that's cool. And I enjoy them, and not everybody likes that. So, also what you're going to do is you're going to notice that we have big is about 15. Now, that's stretching it a little. I think big would probably be around 13 to 15. So, I'm going to go with the common denominator here, and we're going to go with parties in a room. Comfortable size would probably be about 10. 10 in this kind of room can fit. It might be a little bit tight a little bit, but it's not going to be that much of a problem. So I think if your party is getting to the extent of being like 20, calm it down a little bit. Okay. Now, again, I'm not saying that you should stop having fun at parties, room parties. There should be many fun happening at a room party, but I'm just saying, try to calm it down a little bit. Calm it down. Okay, so we also have this, a suite, a small party, in my opinion, for a suite, because a suite can hold a lot of people, is 15. A suite's usually about 10 times, well, I wouldn't say 10 times. I'd say about 4 times the size of this. So you're gonna have this, and you're gonna have this, basically. That's what a suite is. And if you are interested, small party is 15. 28 is the big party. Okay, so I'd say about 30, 28 to 30, doubling size. It would be a good estimate. Maybe a little bit more depending on the suite. I do know for a fact MFF has some pretty good suites, and you can have a ton of people in there. So I'm not saying all parties are like this, but we're going to definitely do this. Okay, so after the suite, we have the noise level, which is the noise that your party's generating. And again, I know this isn't the most exciting thing to be hearing, but this is all stuff that's really important to parties. And I want to try to break this down for people who have parties and they get too crazy with them. That's all I'm trying to do here. So I'm not trying to be boring here. I'm sorry if I'm a little bit boring. This isn't the most exciting topic, but please bear with me. We'll get to the exciting stuff soon. Okay, so noise level. It's very keen to keep your noise level at a minimum. Not like completely low that where you're going, hey guys, what? You're being too loud. Shh. No, don't do that. But what you can do, and what I always find is a good noise ratio, is looking at your side of your speaker and nudging it down 3 steps that where you think would be appropriate, because you think it's cool to like go blah, 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 but it's really cool to go blah 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 blah. So you just lower it lower than you'd think it would be cool. Okay, so now we also have over here, which is another important thing, starting time of a party. I always like to do it around 9 p.m. 9 p.m. is a good solid starting time. It's where you can get drunk and still having a good time. A party's end, I would probably say anywhere between 12 or maybe 11 to 3 a.m. Possibly 4 if it depends on if the party's starting to die down and you're just playing Cards Against Humanity or some sort of thing because it's the end of the room party. So that's my suggestion, 9 p.m. maybe to 11. I think 11 to 9 would be a good starting time, and then down here is like 3 to 4 is a good time to end it. Because people are starting to go to bed and you don't want them to go, turn down that racket, you're driving me crazy. Okay, so now the drinks. Okay, now I gotta put this down because for a second, and I gotta talk about the drinks here. Okay, so if you are serving hard liquor, and plenty of people do, like this is pretty hard liquor, you know, it's 100 proof, it's Jack Jameson, you know, that's great, you know, you're doing that. So my idea is for this, now this is only my idea, so if it sounds stupid and it sounds lame, whatever, is number one, if you're the person who's running it, take a look how much alcohol they're putting into their system. Now, what I would like to do is when I drink, I like to have a chip bowl nearby, or some sort of food that helps dissolve the alcohol so you're not getting completely wasted from it. Because if you're getting completely wasted from alcohol, kind of ruins the party buzz. Because you might be having a good time, but that one idiot who punches somebody in the face might not be having a good time. So what I would do if I'm hosting a room party is, number one, if they get too drunk, which I have this on the board, you get too drunk, you kick them out. And it's not that you just like kick them out and you say don't go. Have somebody guide them back to their room, let them sober up a little bit, and then maybe you can return. I mean, you got to sober up a little bit, because you know, I don't want to see my party or everybody else's party get completely destroyed because I was the one who was like, well, I'm going to get really drunk tonight, and start really, you know, hurting other people and maybe yourself. Number two, when you're having a room party, if they're doing drugs, kick them out. Drugs are never a good thing to have, because you don't want to be the police coming up and going, whose party is this? And you're responsible for them. Also, plus the people who have the drugs that could possibly hurt themselves and others as well. So, and again, I'm not trying to be a killjoy here. I'm just trying to think of the factuals. I know when you're 24 like me, half the people who don't do it are the idiots who are like, let's do this! And then, no. I know it sounds fun, and I know you're going to have probably a decent time, but I think that there should be a balance here. Come on, guys. Come on. Drinking's not all that great. Especially in the morning where you're like, oh my gosh, what happened? So, drugs and alcohol, if you see them drink too much alcohol, kick them out. Or just escort them out and then tell them, you know, hey, you can't do that here. Or if they're too drunk, get somebody who's a friend of theirs, do it. Because I think that you should have a designated friend when you come to these parties. The one that's not going to get you into trouble and the one that's not going to be drinking with you, you know, you've got all kind of drink. You got usually 3 days to do it. I mean, if you don't get drunk once, my God, you're not going to have a bad time. So, just be responsible with room parties and stuff like that. Now, I had somebody else out. Party poopers. You know the party poopers, you know, I'm not saying that people might know party poopers a lot, but party poopers are out there. And they're the type of people who go, this party sucks. This party's the worst. If you hear somebody saying that, get them the heck out of there. You'd be like, you don't want to be at my party, so why are you here? So definitely recommend kicking out those party poopers. If you got a party and you got a pooper, change the diaper immediately. That should be a slogan. Put that on a t-shirt. I don't know why I said that, but whatever. So basically, you've got party poopers, drunks, people who are doing drugs. These are all sort of things that need to be addressed. And sadly, half the time they don't. Let's go to the comments and see what comments you guys got going. So let's see. We have, let's see if I can find my cursor. Okay, let's see. I was born in Jersey, but been all over. I live in New Jersey now. Ugh. Okay, let's see. I lived in Alaska. Okay. I'm just seeing if there's any comments that need to be concerned here. You passed out on the old age, I believe. You from the UK. No. Okay, so not really anything going on in the chat. But that's fine. We're going to keep going with this, the things. Okay. So, now you have basically have all these things done. You turned off the noise. Now you're probably wondering, what can the con do that helps them, but doesn't make it obvious that they're helping? Okay, so I thought of a couple different things. Maybe EMT should be on the floor, but then I was thinking that's probably not a best idea. It's going to cause conflict of interest, and if a party goes too wild, then the con's going to be shut down because the party was responsible for it. So don't do that. Don't do that, con. I think what a con should do is they should put on the registration when you're registering. Are you going to be a partier or a host of a partier? And they should go, check, yes. Now, that will also add to conflict of interest. But what you can do is with that yes or check, you're not really engaging in them. You're just giving them a place to party. So where it will not cause any conflict of interest. Now, if you put stuff on the floor to help them, yeah, that would create conflict of interest. But if you're just making them check a yes or a no, well, maybe not. Maybe. Maybe that would, con. Maybe. I don't know the law exactly. I just know that the con should do something about these wild room parties. You know, try to make it where it's in one floor designation where it's to the side. And they're like, okay, this is a room party. We're just going to have fun here. And we all know if we do something stupid, we're all going to get shut down for it. And I think that would make the party goers, or not the party goers, but the people who are in charge of the party more responsible. I think there's a responsible problem here. Not a necessarily con problem. It's a responsible problem. Because you have these people who throw these parties, have no clue who any of these guys are. They're inviting, their friends are inviting their friends, and their friends are inviting their friends, and it's all getting mushed into one. And there's no responsibility in showing who's going into these room parties. And that becomes a problem within itself, because if I don't know Johnny over there, there might be a Johnny over there, and he punches Sally for no apparent reason, I'm going to be the one who is going to be in trouble as well. And my party's going to be shut down, and maybe a possible fine will be coming my way because I was the one who was in charge of it and the host. So, I think the key here is maybe have like a little guest list. A guest list, and their friends can invite their friends. But their friends have to be approved by you. So there is no conflict of interest. You know who's going to be at this party, and you know that it's going to be better for you in the long run. Now, is that going to happen necessarily every time? No. It's not going to happen every necessary time. There's going to be people who come into your party and do stupid stuff. But if you're the host of the party, you're supposed to be the one responsible for the party. So take a look around. Look around, survey the area, and then, maybe take some interest in your guests. So, now I don't mean watch them like a hawk and go, I saw you got 2 beers there. What are you doing with those? No. But try to make it where you know how much alcohol they're doing. And, you can at least help it. If a person's getting way too wild, you could throw them out. Or not throw them out, but escort them to another room. Except for people on drugs. People on drugs need to get the heck out. You're not going to deal with that. So, okay, so responsibility is a key part. So what I would do is create a list on, let's say, I wouldn't say Facebook, because Facebook's too dang public. I would create a list like on Fur SVP. And I would create it hidden for only certain people I know who would come to the room party. So let's say out there we have Mr. Fox. I want to invite Mr. Gob. Mr. Gob would be cool to invite. He seems like a very nice guy. And I want to invite two shots, which I still can't pronounce his name, even if he donates to my Patreon, which I appreciate you. But so basically all these people I want to invite. Now, he invites, let's say Mr. Fox, which I know what your real name is. I just like saying Mr. Fox this season. But, so, Mr. Fox wants to invite Little Fur. Now, Little Fur, I have no clue who he is, but he has a reputation. So, I'm going to tell him, Mr. Fox, if you bring him and he has a reputation and he knows how wild he can get, right? He's going to be responsible for him. A little, not like really responsible, but keep an eye on him enough that where if he gets too crazy, when it's time to leave. It's time to go. Now, this creates a good thing that where people help controlling other people. Now, it's like the buddy rule. If you ever went on a field trip and they're like, hey, you get partnered with John, and then you go, I don't want to partner with that guy, I hate him. But really, it's to help you guys, like keep an eye on each other. That's what I think parties should do, is you should keep an eye on each other. If you're getting too drunk and you know it, or if they're getting too drunk and you know it, you should be like, okay, it's time to stop. Let's get out of here before we create a problem. Especially if you know he's a mean drunk and if he's your friend or anything like that. I think that's a lot better than, just being like, well, you can't come to the party because you're too wild and stuff. So I think that would be a good thing. Another step to really understand how you're going to do this is I have it in there, but I don't like using the board. I feel like it takes up too much. Until I get the board back here, I'm not going to use the board yet. But a perfect example of this is, I'm trying to think. The noise level can also get way too low if you're talking too loud. And no, I don't mean, hey buddy, what's up? No, I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about the, hey buddy, what's up? When they're crossing the room and you get people yelling, going, oh, ah-woo, and they're going crazy in the room and they're doing ah-woos and things are starting to get really crazy. Now, there's a couple situations that you could do to this. You can let it go. But if you let it go, it might become a problem down the long run. What I think the best option is is to turn up the music really loud and say, no, I'm kidding. Because you're not going to control noise level when it comes to people. But at least have a consideration if you're a person being hosted by somebody who's buying the beer, alcohol, or etc. Try to have not an indoor voice, because you're at a furry con. You don't want to have an indoor voice. That's stupid. But try to have a sensible voice that where it's loud enough that you can hear them, but also not quiet enough that where nobody can hear you. Because nobody wants to be a Boston. If you've ever went to A&E, that's how the party went. Hey, Johnny, can you pass the drinks? Okay. Because there was airline people all over the place, and they shut down them everywhere because of the airline. Now, that's where the con should step in, and this is where I still think the con could do such a better job. Now, I know they can't control what rooms they get in a room block. I get that. You're cool. Especially at Boston, when it was at the Crown Plaza, and you had furries, and then airline pilot, and then furries, and then person who works, and then furries. But I understand you can't control where you're going to do. But you could control it by doing the sensible thing and creating more of maybe not a suggestion going, hey, you want to have a room party? Maybe do it in a subtle way. Like, if anybody's going to have room parties, let us know so we can put you in the right room. And then they can tell you your name, and then the party can be set up to a place that where it's not going to bother anybody. But, again, it's hard for cons because cons don't want to be attached to it. And I hate it. Why don't cons just do it? Why don't cons just... Well, okay, maybe not, because then you get kicked out because the party gets way too wild, and if it gets too wild, it can become problematic and stuff like that. But all I'm saying is there should be some sort of way a con can do it without a con being directly influenced by it. So, by the way, if you are liking this, please share this around to your friends and subscribe down there. If you are new here, which I don't know if anybody's new. But who knows? Maybe I got a new guy in here. So that's my advice, though. Is, if a con wants to really do it right, you're going to have some sort of system in place. Something that doesn't put you directly involved. Maybe get them to sign a waiver. There you go. That sounds like a good idea. Why can't anybody do that? You see waivers all the time. Like, if I get injured in any way, I will not be liable for. So why don't you do that, conventions? Go hire a lawyer who knows this stuff, and then be like, hey, I want to create a thing that where if the party gets way too insane, it's not our fault the parties are insane, so make them sign a waiver. Bam. I just solved all the party problems. Boom. Not really. But I'm just thinking there should be a way a con can do it that will not legally hurt them in the long run. So let's see. Do we have any other ones? What's up? The ceiling. Yes. I'm going to stick with that final answer, madness. My decision, the madness, is what's up. Okay. Sorry. Seeing if there's any comments, but not really too many. We only got 5 people. This isn't the most interesting topic, and I'm sorry, guys, if it's not the most interesting topic. I'm just going to drink the rest of this. No, I'm kidding. But really, what's going to hurt you is this right here. And it sucks because it's a very fun tool. If you are old enough to drink, if you're not, don't do it. Wait until you're 21 in the United States, unless if you're in Canada. In some places, you can wait until you're 18, then wait until you're 18. But just this stuff can really become a bad problem for most problems that come out of it, room parties, is because of this. And it sucks to say, but it's kind of true. If you have ever scrolled down Twitter and look at the main reasons why room parties got kicked out, it's because of this alcohol. They get too loud, you get too rowdy, and then you end up getting kicked out, and then you wish you didn't have the party in the first place, because you too can be kicked out of a con. Yeah, that's right. If you have too much of a wild con and they catch you, you could definitely be kicked out of the con, even if it's not your fault. But it is your fault because you're the one who started the room party. But I'm not trying to make this a negative sounding review saying that room parties are not bad. They're actually good. I've been to a couple room parties that haven't had any problems. They were fun. There was a lot of drinking. You know, I got really wasted that one time, and I'm not afraid to admit it. And, you know, I could spill my beans on a lot of different room party stories that I had. Like, MFF last year. My God, was I drunk. And, you know, the sad part is I'm a sad drunk. So even if I do get drunk, it's just a sad time. Everyone around me's sad. They're disappointed and stuff. But room parties can be fun. And let me talk about the cons about room parties. I mean, not the cons. Sorry, the pros about room parties. Room parties can create a lot of attraction to a furry convention. Here's why. Okay, so let's say you and a buddy want to go to a convention, and you're like on the fence about it. And then you hear, let's say, Duke the Dancing Dog, which I don't think he ever throws room parties. I don't know him personally. But let's say he throws a room party, and it's like, dude, we gotta go. Duke the Dancing Dog's having a party. I've always wanted to meet him. That's one pro. Because sometimes it can attract more people coming to a convention. But another reason why is because it makes you more social. If you drink this properly, it can make you really social. Parties can be a very, very wonderful thing when it comes to that stuff. So basically, just a bunch of different pros for it. Let me see. I got a question. Hold on. What are your views on renting an RV and going to a con? My God, I've already talked about this, mister. No, don't do it. It'd be a terrible idea. Parking, especially AC and stuff. You wouldn't have nowhere to park. There'd be nowhere to park. You would be out in the middle of the street. No. Bad idea. No go. No. Unless maybe if you go to like a smaller con that would allow RVs. I mean, maybe. I mean, there'd be no consequences on getting really drunk and being really loud because you're just out in an RV. So maybe possible for the smaller cons, but if they're in big cities, don't do it. Don't do it. But I don't see the point of renting an RV and going to a convention when there's a hotel right beside you. That seems like the guy who wants to sleep in his car. That's my views on it. Hey, this is good. Remember, from those of us who have cons coming up, though, I would likely not be invited to a room parties. Okay, so here's the thing. You can be invited to a room party. It's quite simple, to tell you the truth. Maybe, you know what? I'll do a whole thing on getting invited to a room party. Getting invited to a room party is simple when it comes to different type of room parties. So what I usually do is when I want to go to a room party, I'm the idiot who goes, "Do you know of any room parties?" on Telegram. And I go on the chat, and they either give me the, "Oh, that's a good, yeah, there's room parties here," or they get me, "I don't know." So you can go on Telegram, onto the chat, and just take a look at that. You can do it through the chat. You can do it through all different sorts of scenarios. I've been invited only 2 times to a room party. So there's definitely times where you can be invited to a room party through your friends. Another one is if you really are desperate for a room party, you can just go around walking the floors and you'll eventually hit one. Which sounds really loserous. Don't do that. Don't do that. I would never do that. Don't do that. You'll eventually get invited to a party. Let's see. Because it's cheaper. No, it's not cheaper. Stop saying that. Renting an RV would not be cheaper. There'd be no cheaperness to them. Prove me wrong, but I don't think so. Renting an RV can be very expensive. No. No. No, no, no. Stop. It's time to stop. Press that stop button. Okay. Yeah, no. The problem with this topic is that I'm not very good at it. I mean, I'm okay at room parties, but I've never hosted a room party, and I've never had a thought about hosting a room party. And researching this is really tough because there's not really a simple, like, thing that you could say that are like, well, room parties, you know, room parties. Because it's such a broad topic. It's like typing into Google saying, how do I have a party? Step 1, get balloons. Step 2, have that cake ready. It's like, no, not every party's going to have a cake. I suck at parties. I don't get drunk that much. Just saying. So this was a really hard this is a really hard topic for me to do. And I'm just trying to do it the best I can because I know that this is a blaring concern with furry cons. And their room parties can get a little out of whack, dog. You know what I'm saying? They can get straight up gangster. Okay, don't repeat that. That was terrible of me saying. But I'm just saying, they can get really bad. And I think somebody who has knowledge of this parties should eventually come up with a knowledge of the parties. Tell them what your do's and don'ts are. Please. If you have a hint of people. And that's why I did this. Because I don't think anybody has discussed this topic. And it needs to be discussed. Room parties need to be discussed. Because they're with every single con you go to. It doesn't matter if you go to Fur Equinox. It doesn't matter if you go to Euroferns. It doesn't matter if you go anywhere. There's going to be room parties. And the problem is these room parties can cause a lot of problems. They can. I mean, is all my solutions in there bad? Probably not. But there can be some good solutions to these. And again, maybe I'm not the best person to talk about this. I only did it because I wanted to talk about room parties. So, I'm just saying that I'm sure you can get advice from other people. And I'm sure they might be 10 times better. But the one thing that I do have to say about room parties is they can be a lot of fun. There is definitely a lot of pros to room parties. And if they're run properly and not completely insane like most 25-year-olds right now, and like, I'm only 23 right now, and I know what a sensible party should be like. I mean, I don't want you to be bored going, do you have any twos as you're playing cards? It's like, no, you don't want that. But you also don't want to be the guy who ruins every other room party. That's why I made this video. And, you know, maybe when I open up the phone line, somebody will call in. I know this isn't the most interesting topic in the world. If you are underage, I'm sorry for not making it the most interesting topic in the world. But it has to be discussed. It is a fox in the room. It has to be discussed. And I don't know what my next one's going to be. I'm trying to figure out it. But all I'm saying is room parties can be good. And that's what I want to try to do, is make them good. I want to try to help people, you know, understand that room parties don't always have to be so wild and insane. Because some of them are. And some of them get people punched in the face. And some of them have people doing drugs. And some of them have way too much of this. But to tell you the truth, I will say this, though. Parties can be good. So, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to open up the phone lines here real quick. And I want to get your take on this. If you would have a room party, what would you do to make it better? Or how would you solve the con in the room parties? Because I think cons should be a little bit more responsible with their room parties. And I know what you're saying. It's not the con's responsibility. Yes, I agree. But there should be some sort of party section that should be cut off to those who want to party. And there shouldn't just be the furry, then normal room furry, the normal room, because this is what it gets. It gets bad reputations, these cons. And it gets people in trouble, the con in trouble. Maybe what you should do is have a non-agreement that where you sign, and any room party that has a problem or has any sort of thing, make it liable on them, not the convention. Because the convention needs to do something about these. And I'm sick and tired of hearing it every single con. Well, not every single con, but at Furrydelphia was a big example of that. Somebody getting punched in the face because they got way too drunk, and it consequently shut down every room party in the whole entire hotel. That is a problem in with itself. But I still think a con should have done something about it, made a section off, had a non-liable agreement or something in place. And if you do something stupid, it's on you, not them. So I think that would be better. Maybe you can call in and tell me something else. Tell me that there might be a different way. But I don't see another way, because you're not going to get EMS involved, because a con doesn't want that much exposure on these room cons. They want you to have a safe time, but if you go to a room party, it's not under their fault. And I agree with that. Because room parties can get cons shut down, and they can definitely hurt progress in a convention. And that's the one thing that scares me the most, is that you have a really popular con, and all of a sudden you get shut down because too many people are drinking this and stuff. That's why, as being a host for a room party, you have to be responsible for the people in that party. I know it might sound quote-unquote stupid, but it's true. You have to be. Because you're not just representing yourself, you're representing the whole entire con. And that's what people don't understand. These people who go out in the middle of the floor and are in the middle of the day, and they're representing the con as something bad, or they're doing something like pooping themselves or anything, that all reflects on the con. A perfect example of that is Rainforest. Look what happened to Rainforest after the puppy play, and then all the, pooping in the hot tub and all this other stuff. You are reflecting on the con. It might not be the most fairest. You might want to have a bunch of different things that you're into, but you have to realize you're the one who's creating the party. You're the one who's responsible. And if anything happens in that party, that's on you. And they could kick you out for that. I could be on this for all day because it's such a true story. I've seen people get kicked out of cons because of parties. Woo! Okay, I could have went on that for hours, but because it's one of those things that you just have to be responsible. Please be responsible when you're throwing a room party. Let's see if we have any comments before I open up the phone lines. Please make Steven Universe theme videos. I don't know. Tell it dashing. Okay, so if you want to call in, the phone number is 1717-839-3684. I have my cell phone somewhere on this desk right in front of me. Yes, you can call in. I will type it on the thing, and you can call in and let me know what your thoughts on room parties are. Should they be well, you can't control room parties. I'm going to tell you that right now. I mean, you could try, but it's not going to work. It's 717-839-3684. That's my telephone number. You can give me a call. Give me your take on this whole entire thing, because I really want to hear your input on this, because there's so many different things with so many different stories happening in so many different cons that I want to hear an experience. I want to hear something that you might have seen happen, or something that could have possibly interfered. It could have been at an anime convention. It could have been at a convention that doesn't have to be a furries. Because I think this is a whole entire wineness scale that needs to be solved. And I usually don't like talking about this, guys, so this kind of sucks for me. But all I'm saying is that you need to be responsible. That's it. If I could, like, end it and then be like, yeah, it's talking with dashingfoxie, that's basically where I'd end it, because it's you being responsible and, you know, starting the party at a good time. You know, you got to realize that these cons are all on the weekend. So, in my opinion, these people who are around the party and then they're like, turn off that racket, you're driving me crazy. Well, I'm telling you what, sir, it's the weekend, and you have to expect room parties to be happening. Hold on. I think there's also a problem with the people who are around the room party. 90% of these conventions are happening on a Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. What do you expect? They're going to be room parties. So, if you don't think there's going to be room parties, well, then you got another thing coming. Because even without having a convention there, there's always going to be people in a hotel room that are going to be having a party. And it's going to get too loud. You know? But I still think, unless if it's too loud that we're to the point that where, you know, you can't sleep, then maybe that's a problem. But if you hear a pin drop and it's like, oh, I gotta call 911. Oh, I gotta do it. They're being too loud. I heard a pin drop. That's one thing that I do hate about some people, though. They will do that. If they hear a pin drop, it's over. So, not just responsible on them, it's got to be people around it, in the next room beside you. And I just I hate it when I hear a party get shut down because they were, quote-unquote, being way too loud when they were being at moderate tone. Man, that really grinds my gears. But, the phone number is 1717-839-3684. And if you are liking this, please share it to your friends. Subscribe down below. We'll have more topics on different things that I'm better at. I mean, I'm trying to make this good. But again, the number is 717-839-3684. Add a 1 to the front of that, and then you got my telephone number. So if you want to call in, I got the phone ready and going. I got everything set up, and you can tell me about a con that you've had a bad experience with a party, or had a good experience with a party. Because not all stories are going to be bad. And that's one thing I really want to drive to people, that partying is not bad. Just because some people get shut down doesn't mean you shouldn't do it. It should be more of a fun time for you, but also in the same aspect, not a headache for you. Because you don't want to get arrested. You don't want to get punched in the face. Nobody wants that. Nobody. So, again, you can call in. Let me know what stories you have or anything like that. You can go wild, have fun. I usually keep the show PG, so this is like the only time you can talk about alcohol. Don't talk about, you know, anything bad. So, but you can talk about alcohol, or if you got really drunk, or you had a good time, but you don't remember the next day, which is terrible. So, you could talk about that or anything. But until then, I do have a couple other things I do want to say about room parties and the convention itself. I think that they should also have a disclaimer, too, on convention pamphlets, that where it says, room parties might be happening through this time to this time. So, fair warning, we're not in control of them. We just want to warn you that they will be happening. And, you know, you don't have to go through every list, but they're possible in any sort of con. And the con really doesn't do that much when it comes to con parties or anything like that. And in a way, again, sign that agreement saying, hey, we're not liable if you screw up and hit a tub or flood the bathroom. That's why I said the bathroom's a no-go zone. If you are attending a party, do not go to the bathroom because, well, actually, don't go use the bathroom because you don't want to pee yourself. But I'm just saying, don't be hanging out in the bathroom getting really drunk. Not a good idea. And what kind of fun would that be? Oh yeah, I'm in a party room and I'm getting drunk in the bathroom. Yeah. That's the most stupidest thing I've ever heard. Stupid. Stupid. Unless if you like partying in the bathroom, then more power to you, which is weird. Go get something checked out. Okay. So again, I'll show this chart one more time. I gotta make sure it's on screen, and I keep forgetting that I can't see the camera unless if I pull it up. Might make this show just a little short because not a lot of people are in here. Nobody's calling in or anything. Again, if you're liking this, please share this around to your fellow friends and tell them the dangers of room parties and how it can really hurt people. So, again, I had the chart. I still wish I had a board. I think I'm going to get a board like right here, and it's going to be better, and I'm going to get it. Don't worry. It's going to be in the future when I start making more money. Donate to my Patreon right now. No, I'm kidding. No. So basically this. Now, room party. First, I gotta die first. You're gonna watch me pass out on camera. Room parties can be very fun, but a no-go zone is the hallway. Don't go into the hallway. Not a good idea. Bathroom. Don't go into the bathroom. Stay away, unless if you gotta use the bathroom. Then go for it, champ. This should be where all your parties happening. Again, 7 people is small for a regular king-size queen bed. For a big party, which if you do want to have a big party, it's about 15. A suite's a little bit bigger. A total of 15 is pretty small because a suite's pretty damn big and you can fit a lot of people in there. And the 28 would be the getting over the edge. So if you want to do that, you have kickouts. If you notice anybody who's getting really, really badly drunk and they're becoming a scene, get rid of them. Kick them out. Okay, don't. Have a designated friend. Tell them to go and, you know, enjoy some other place because you don't want them to be causing trouble. The party poopers is a big one. So make sure at the parties. I have this down here, but in a way I'm not wrong. I'm wrong on this information. The average person can consume 4 beverages without getting completely wasted. But then I think about it, and it's like, that study has to be the most horse crap ever. Because I've seen people drink like 6 or 7 shots, and they're like, oh, I'm fine. This is totally cool. I'm totally awesome. This is great. And then they pass out. No, I'm kidding. But no, I'm serious. Like that's got to be the most bull crap information that I have ever heard. So I'm not even using that. That's like dead to me. Good time to start a party would be 9 a.m. to 11 a.m. Good time to start parties. They're in the middle, getting close to midnight, and you're going to have fun. Good time to end a party would be 2 to 3, maybe 4, depending. You know, if you're playing Cards Against Humanity and you're pretty quiet at the 4-hour mark, you can get away with staying until 4. Noise levels. I also want to add to this, if it is at 4 a.m. and you're still jamming out to Metallica and you still got loudness, these guys over here are not going to be too happy, and I would recommend turning down the music. So at 4 a.m., 3 a.m. or 4 a.m. because these guys are not going to be too happy, and they might call the number on the 911 dial. So I would definitely keep your noise level down. Room party can be at the noisiest around probably 9 to 12. And then after 12, you start calming things down because you don't want to get the po-po on your his-ass dog. You know what I'm saying? Yeah, no. You probably don't know what I'm saying. I don't even know what I'm saying, but I'm just saying. So, That's my advice for all of this. Just the advice, except for this, because I don't think that's accurate at all. You can tell when somebody's starting to get really wasted. So I really, really do not need to go over how somebody needs to be wasted or going to party. Let's see if we have any questions, shall we? I can't. Sorry, my cat's there, and he was meowing at me going, "Why aren't you petting me?" And I said I can't. So, let's see. We have somebody. If anybody here likes the stream, don't forget to subscribe. Okay, thank you. It depends on the alcohol level. Yes. Whatever. Okay, so agreed? Yes. Alcohol level. This is 100. I think this is 100 proof. Let me check. Can't see. Whatever. I'm going to say this is 100 proof. I think it's either 100 or 80, because this is like the really, really good stuff that you like buy on the shelf, and you're like, yeah, I got money. But that's 100 proof. If you're just drinking beer and alcohol, the proof will be different, and it will be a little bit more insignificant as a whiskey or a vodka or an alcoholic beverage that might have it in there. But again, it's one of those problems that can, oh, it tastes like another. Oh, it tastes like another. And then all of a sudden, oh, it tastes like another champion. And then you're passed out on the floor and could be possibly seriously hurt or alcohol. So just be very careful on anything like that. So if you want to call in, I think I'm going to end the stream around maybe 1:30, maybe a little bit less, because this isn't the greatest topic, and I don't think people are really hoot interesting. It is a Saturday night after all. They're probably out partying with their friends. You go party, champs. So I will say this, that if you really, really do want to host a party, think about the consequences. Be responsible. And make sure you are knowing who's going. If you see anybody who looks on the list that you're like, I don't know, I heard some pretty crazy stories about that gnarly dude, you don't have to block them, but have their friend who you know be like, okay, it's time to calm it down, and then let's go back to the room. Because that's the biggest problem with room parties, is everyone gets too drunk and stuff like that. Now, socializing is a good thing. Socializing can be used as a good thing. It can be used as a great thing. Alcohol is not just a bad thing. It helps people loosen up their muscles. It could turn inverts into talkative people. So, alcohol is not all a bad thing. Just because they tell you it is, it's good for you in moderate amounts, not these amounts. Moderate amounts. Small amounts, small doses of it can calm your nerves, and it can do a bunch of other things that can help you. So I don't want you to think that I'm coming out of this video that I hate alcohol. I drink alcohol once in a while, and I always have a good time, and I try not to get overexcited or over dramatize this, because then I start becoming like a whiny baby and I become really sad. So just be aware of what the people around you are doing if you're at a room party. That's my key thing here, is just being aware around what's the room party. Don't get drunk if you're having a room party. Don't do it, man. You're stupid if you do it. If you go into a room party and you are completely wasted and you're the host of that, you're stupid. You know, if something bad happens at that party, you should be the one kicked out, not the person who did it. Well, actually, yeah, you should both be kicked out, because you're the one who's having a party and you're the idiot who is like, I'm going to get drunk tonight. If you're having a room party, be smart. Don't drink. If you drink, drink moderately. Don't drink, oh my gosh, this party's so amazing. And no, don't do that. Don't. You have to be smart at these parties. You're not just considering yourself, you're considering everyone around you. I'm sorry to say it. Sometimes the truth hurts, but darn, it's going to hurt now. I'm going to sting you. Don't get drunk at the parties. Have a fun time and don't get drunk. Because if I would get drunk during my fur meets, who's going to come to my fur meets? Nobody. They're going to go, oh, that guy's just drunk and he didn't do anything to help me with this fur meet. Any comments and consideration should be going by the guy who is there. If you see somebody who's acting stupid, you'd be like, well, that guy's acting a little bit more stupid than normal. You should be the guy who takes action and goes, gotta get out of here, man. I'll escort you to the room if you need help, but you gotta get out of here. And again, not a party pooper. I just think it's better to be smarter than to be stupid and be like, oh, well, I didn't know that happened, and then all of a sudden you're the one who gets into a fine. I hate that. I'm sorry, guys. I can rant on that for hours, but it's your responsibility. Not the cons, not anybody else's, but it's your responsibility to take care of that room party. Your responsibility. My God, I sound like a mother now. Okay, let's see if we have any other things. And you got to be careful with people who haven't really had, really have any alcohol beverages, meaning that they have done any drinking in a couple of years. Well, I have no clue what that means, but LOL, that's what they said. So, but really, that's the lesson of the day. I'm going to end this live stream soon since nobody's calling in. It's Friday night. Not really too many people are calling in. Nobody has any interesting or juicy stories to talk about, which I would love to hear them. I want somebody to call in and be like, I got so drunk. How drunk did you get? I woke up in a toga the next day. It's better than nothing. I don't know. I'm just starting to run out of ideas to say. It's no offense to you guys. I'm just starting to run out of those ideas. But if you are liking this, please share this around to your friends. You can hit the subscribe button down below. I have also my Patreon that I could use some money. Because it's all about the Monday. No, I'm kidding. But just putting that up there. Put that on the table. Walk away. Also, I don't know yet. I might be coming out with t-shirts because I'm bored. I got no friends, and this is what happens when you have no friends. So let's see. Milk. Yo, hey, what's up? Extra. It's not Friday night, but it's the way it's Saturday night. But see, I'm just saying that a party can be very fun. You just can't. You got to be responsible in these parties. And that becomes a problem because nobody's responsible. They go, well, it's not my fault the guy punched out the other guy and knocked out his teeth. I'm not paying no dental bill. Kind of is, because you're the one who threw the party. You're the one who threw the party. So, just be responsible. Key word. Responsibility. Because I can go through all night. Actually, you know what? Let me tell you a couple stories that I do know of that got people into trouble. And I'll tell you a couple stories because, and I'll let you call in if you want to call in about being drunk at a party or being some sort of party that you thought was quote unquote fun, and then you got really drunk, and then you're like, wow, that was so much fun I had that night. You can call in by 1717-839-3684. My cell phone's nearby, so you can give me a call and let me have it. Let me have a good story that you might have had or something. So, I'll tell you a story that I do know of, and it kind of actually happened right in front of my eyes. So, I was at a room party, and I was having fun. You know, I was drinking a lot. You know, I was having, quote-unquote, a good time. And all of a sudden, I see someone coming out of the bathroom, and the guy is, like, so drunk, he goes for a hug, but he misses him and grabs onto me and like pushes me under the bed. And I'm like, I don't even know this dude. And it's freaking weird and awkward up in his house. You know what I'm saying? So I'm trying to get him off of me. His friends are trying to get him off me. But all of a sudden, like, I just, like, pass out. Like, oh, he passes out, I mean. He passes out right on me. And he's trying to get it. The guys are, like, trying to, like, wake him up. So they're, like, pushing and all this other stuff. And it looked really weird, but it was like he just got so drunk that it really made my night, like, worse. But made my anxiety go up. Yay! Anxiety. Okay, let's see. We have a new person in here, so let's talk. You're literally the first out there I've seen from live streaming. I've been to and I've gone through a lot of live streams, but you're the first I've seen. Now, all I need to see is some Skell and one more. Okay. Skell and one more. Skell. I can't read that last word because I can't tell if it's S-C-A-L or is it S-C-A-L-I-E. So I'm going to go with scale. Okay. But all I'm saying is room parties can be a very good idea. They can be. They've got a lot of pros. You've got a lot of industrial things. But don't be caught in that situation where you feel awkward or weird. My cue to leave a party, and I know this for a simple fact, is when you get two people who are drunk and they're talking to each other and they sound making sense, but to everybody else they're like, what is that guy talking about? I don't know. He's too dang drunk to understand anything. That's my cue to, like, leave. And I always find leaving a party is easier than entering a party, because when you leave a party, it's like, I got it. It's a group of friends, you know, that you haven't seen in a while, and you don't want to be the guy who's, like, leaves first, so you're just standing there waiting for your chance to leave when somebody else's leaves. That's exactly what a room party is. I mean, unless if you're out in the hallway or you're near the entrance, that is how a room party is. That should be exactly how somebody describes a room party. Because I never want to be the first to leave. I don't want to be that guy who's like, oh, this guy's a party pooper. He's leaving first. Yeah, party pooper. You know, I don't know. But that's only me. I don't like leaving a party first. Let's see. He's kind of a blind boy. Like furries, but they are on the lizard side. So scales. Okay, I get it. Scales. I get it. Good. Lizards, scales, get it. Got it? Good. Yeah. I just quoted a line from a movie that everybody probably hated. Yeah. Okay. So, now, there's a couple signs that you need to leave. If you're not hosting a party and you're there and you're having a good time, and then you see something bad happen, that's the sign to leave. If you see somebody get punched in the face, time to leave. It's pretty obvious that you need to do it, and it should be pretty obvious. But, well, guys, I think since nobody's calling in and I'm starting to ramble on and on and on and on, I think I'm going to end this live stream. I feel like I had a productive show. It was something. It was something out there. I never see anybody talk about room parties. It's like the fox or the elephant in the room that nobody talks about. But, you know, I darn well tried. I tried talking about room parties. Was it the most successful? Probably not. Will there be more successful ones? I don't know. Stay tuned. Or next episode where I get hit with... Oh, I don't know. But all I'm saying is there's plenty of different things that you can do good with a room party. There's plenty of different ways to make a room party very successful, but underneath the radar, that where the con's not shutting you down, and you're not going to be the room party that shuts every other room party down. And there's plenty of ways to do this. So I'm going to give you guys one last chance. If you want to call in, my phone number is 1717-839-3684. My phone's on standby, so if you want to call in, you can give me a call and we'll talk about this. We'll talk about anything. Not everything, but I want to talk about parties. I want to talk about some parties that you went to that went wrong. Or maybe a party that you went to and you were like, my God, this is worse. But parties can be very manageable. They can be. If you are smart enough to take a party and to correctly run it, good for you. And I'm not saying there's no wrong way to run a party. Well, actually there is. Number one, you getting drunk. Number two, not caring what's going around people who host parties. You've got to care, because sharing is caring. And if you don't care, then your room party is going to be shut down faster than you can say hello. Number three, the time. Time is very important when it comes to room parties. Being very observant is another key point. And a bunch of different key points that I can point out there. But I'm just saying that, you know, you can have a successful room party without being the story of the con. You don't want to be the story of the con. Like, hey, did you hear in that room party that somebody got punched in the face? Yeah! And then it goes, and then the cops come, and then your party gets shut down, then you're restricted from the con because of the simple fact that you're an idiot, and you got drunk at the party, and problems are starting to settle in, and that's where it becomes the problem, people. You've got to realize when you got to be responsible. Responsibility is key to any sort of room party. Yes, the con can do more stuff, like have a agreement that says if anything happens in this party that you might have, the con is not liable. Have that convention. I'm giving you ideas, convention. If you have a problem with these parties, why not try to salute it and be like, I'm not liable for the convention, or I'm not liable for the party that I'll be having in my room. If you have a party in your room and they have it off in a little section, there's not going to be that many noise complaints, because they're going to be like, well, there's parties in the room, but I can't hear them, so yay! But cons can be a little bit more responsible. People who actually, you know, run the parties can be a little bit more responsible. You yourself, who goes to a room party, be respectful to the person who's running that room party. They're buying you alcohol. Free alcohol. It's free alcohol, man. Why are you complaining about free alcohol? Number two, you've got to make sure that your noise level is about the same as everybody else's. Don't be going, hey, it's Jimmy, woo, and then start howling and stuff, and then, you know, yelling on top of your lungs, and it's not good. So be respectful if you are a person who's going to these room parties. And if you are inviting friends, make sure those friends aren't going to get you in trouble in the long run. Okay, if you know somebody who is very, very keen on the idea of getting really badly drunk, and they're a mean drunk, or they're some sort of drunk that you know that nobody else can handle, make sure you are considering them. Because I know it might suck to turn down a fellow furry, and, you know, nobody wants to turn down a fellow furry. But if you know that they have a problem, or if you know you can observe them, or have a friend there who can guide them back to the room, or do something smart, instead of causing a problem by flooding a whole entire bathroom because they were idiots and fell on top of the cold water, and then you see cold water like getting squirted out. It has happened. Look it up. It has happened. You've got to be responsible for your guests. And I know it sucks, but you have to. You're a host. If anything goes wrong, they're going to look at you first. Well, they're going to look at the guy first, but then they're going to look at you. So they're going to go, that person ran the party. And they're going to go, oh my gosh, I'm in so much trouble. So that's what I'm going to have to say about this. I think I'm ending the podcast. I mean, well, not the podcast, the YouTube video, the stream. Didn't get really anybody calling in or anything, so I'm just going to call it a day with this. Normally don't talk about this, guys. So if you are looking for another topic, I will have another topic next week. I'm going to try to get a special guest on soon. He's going to be a person who sings. So I'm going to have a singer on. Yeah! Yes. So, not giving any clue to who it is, but I'm going to get a singer on. And it's going to be a great thing. So I just want to let you know out there, guys, that be responsible. Key thing about room parties. If you have this, be responsible with it. Don't drink until your heart contents, because you might get in trouble in the long run. So, I think I had an okay show, I guess. It's kind of boring for some people, I would imagine, because it's not a huge topic I usually talk about. I usually don't talk about alcohol. I usually don't talk about anything like that. But it needed to be said, and I wanted to say it, because too many room parties are getting out of control. So, as always, thank you for watching. And I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, press the subscribe button down there. Also, please, please, press the like button. I would love you forever. Okay, maybe not forever, but I'll love you for that hot minute. And I'll be like, yeah, like button, you pressed it. So, do all that other stuff. And as always, thank you for watching. And I hope you have a dashing night. Bye. Thank you for watching the Talking with Dashing Foxie show. We'll be back with another topic next week, maybe Friday, depending on my situation of work. Yay, work sucks. Bye. Thank you for watching. And again, have a dashing night. I can find the cursor.